There's a demon living here in my house. It hides between the seconds of silence and a scream, and in the still air that smells like metal and dust. Even in the darkest corners of my house, I'd hear it breathing in the walls. Its breathing is slow and patient, like it's waiting for me to drop my guard. Mommy says everything's fine, but the look in her eyes says otherwise. Every night, I pray for the morning to come soon, but the morning light never truly feels safe. I used to think I only saw it when I was scared, but now I see it everywhere. Every time I look into a dark room, it's waiting for me, like it knows I'll look. It's tall with hairs like a goat's hide, and skin that looks burnt, healed, and burnt over again, glowing faintly red in the dark, and its eyes pierce straight through me. Oh God, please, why is it torturing me? Sometimes I wonder if it's trying to tell me something, but I think it's just waiting for me to understand what it really is. I told my teacher about it once. I said there's something living in my house that shouldn't be there. She smiled at me the way adults do when they think you're imagining things. I tried to explain the sounds it makes, the way it breathes outside my door, the smell of smoke and something rotten. She said it was just nightmares, maybe stress. She even told me to draw it, as if putting it on my paper would make it any less real. But when I drew its blood-red eyes, I couldn't finish. The pencil kept shaking uncontrollably, and I think my teacher noticed. She put her hand on my shoulder and said, "It's okay, sweetie. There's no such thing as monsters." But she's wrong. I know she is. How would she know? The monster doesn't live with her, and she doesn't have to deal with it every night. It lives with me, in my house, and I'm the one that has to deal with it. I tried to talk to my mom about it. I thought she'd believe me, because we see it every night. At night I hear her crying in her room, begging for it to stop. But when I ask her about the noises, she just stares at me like I shouldn't have heard anything. Her eyes widen, and she tells me not to talk about it with anyone, while holding me in a vice grip. One day she grabbed my arm so hard that it left a mark. She said to me, "Don't make him angry." I don't know what she meant by that, but her voice was shaking and cracking, and that's when I realized she's scared of it too, just like I am. It's getting late now. I can always tell when it's coming. The air feels like a different planet. It's heavier, muddier, and feels as if the house itself is holding its breath, leaving the air still and unchanging. My mom starts moving fast. She starts turning off the lights, checking the doors, whispering prayers under her breath to a God that didn't listen the other 100 times. She doesn't say anything to me, but I know what to do. It has become a daily routine, almost as natural as brushing my teeth or taking a shower. I run to my room, close the door shut, and climb under my bed. I can't make a sound, not even a whimper. The floors creak when he walks, slow, heavy, and I press my hands over my mouth so it doesn't hear me cry. Because if it hears me, it'll come for me. And if it hears you, it won't stop until you'd wish you'd never make a sound at all. The walls don't block the sounds. They never do. I hear my mommy every night. The thuds, the crashes, the screams that start loud and end in choking, painful sobs. Sometimes I press my pillow over my ears, but it doesn't help. The noises creep and crawl their way through the fabric and through my skin. Those painful screams reach the very depths of my core. Those sounds are what haunt me every waking day. I can hear it. It has a low growl that doesn't sound human, that doesn't breathe as a person should. There's a rhythm to it, like thunder inside of a cage. And then comes the smell. It slips through the vents, faint but sharp, like pennies left in the sun, or when you bite your lip too hard. Copper. Every single day, there's copper that spreads like a plague, filling the air, demanding to be smelt. I try not to think about what it means, because if I do, I start to picture her swollen face burned into my mind. All the while, I'm supposed to pretend none of it is real. I see her the next day. The mornings are the worst kind of lie. The sun comes through the curtains like it's trying to heal the damage that it's been dealt, but the light doesn't reach the far corners of the house. My mom's moving slower today, her face hidden behind her hair, her hands shaking and trembling violently while she makes me breakfast. She doesn't look at me much anymore. Maybe she's scared that if she does, she'll see something familiar in my eyes too. Sometimes she hums to herself, like she's pretending we're normal, like the night didn't happen. But I know better. The air's too still, too quiet, and the demon always resets after feeding on our fear. That's all this piece is. The comma between screams and never a full stop. Deep down, I know he'll come back. He always does. He'll never leave this place. This is his domain, and we're just his toys. At school, everything feels like it's made of glass. Too clean, too bright, too fragile. The other kids laugh like nothing bad could ever happen to them, oblivious to the horrors this world has to offer. I sit in the back of the classroom, tracing the cracked patterns of my fake wooden desk, pretending I'm elsewhere. When the teacher calls my name, I instinctively flinch. She asks why I'm tired again. I want to tell her the truth, that the demon came back last night, and that I heard it screeching through the walls while Mom cried, but what's the point? The last time I tried, she smiled in that soft, careful smile that people give when they think you're just imagining things. It's just some bad nightmare, she said. But this isn't a nightmare. Nightmares usually end the moment you wake up. And this nightmare follows me everywhere. By the time the sun began to set, the house changes ever so subtly, like it's bracing for its arrival. The air starts to feel heavy again. My mom moves more slowly and quietly, but she doesn't say anything. I can tell she feels it too. We both know what time it is. The clock doesn't even have to strike 7 for us to feel him coming. I start picking up my toys, not because I want to, but because I can't stand the idea of leaving them out when he arrives, and it remembers I exist. It's like every small sound, a fork clinking, a floorboard creaking, might summon him sooner. Mom looks at me, eyes wet but empty, and whispers, "Go to your room." That's the rule. Don't be seen, don't be heard. Hide before he finds a reason. It always starts the same way. The sound of the door being fought against, followed by a slow, dragging creak, and then the slam that shakes our crooked picture frames. My heart jumps every time, even though I know it's coming. I crawl into bed, pulling the blankets over my head, but it doesn't block the sounds. His footsteps echo the hallway. They're heavy, uneven, like it's too big for our floorboards. Then comes Mom's voice. Soft at first, trying to keep him calm, but the words twist into cries, and cries slowly form into screams of chaos. The thuds that follow make the walls tremble, and I press my hands over my ears, but I can still hear her. I can always hear her. I know what he's doing. And it'll be my turn if I make a sound. So I stay silent, still, praying the demon forgets I exist. Morning came quicker the next night, and I fell asleep earlier than usual. The demon came and went. It didn't stay long. I can hear Mom in the kitchen moving slowly, her footsteps uneven as well. I heard her broken hum coming from the kitchen. When I walked out of my room, she smiled. A split ran on her bottom lip. We never talk about it. Not about the noises, not about the bruises, not about it. I helped her clean. I wiped the stains that won't come off the floor, and I start getting ready for school. Lately, I've started to wonder if maybe there's not a demon after all. Maybe it's just me, my head making up monsters out of the man who lives there. But then I hear it. The growls that crawl through the wall. The weight of the footsteps that shake the floorboards. The door creaking open in the middle of the night. I tell myself it's my imagination, but the bruises on my mom's arms don't look imaginary. My hands tremble when I hold hers, because I don't know what's worse. That there's a demon in my house, or that there isn't. Sometimes at school, I ask to go to the bathroom just so I can be alone. But when I get there, I can't look at the mirror. I try, but I can't. Because when I do, it's not me staring back. It's him. The same eyes, dark and hateful. The same mouth, tight with anger. His face, twisted and cruel, living inside of mine. I tell myself it's just my imagination, that it's only a reflection, but I know better. The demon's blood is in me. I used to pray for the demon to leave. I used to think that if I was quiet enough, good enough, it would go away, and that my mother could finally sleep without crying. But now I understand that it was never going to leave. Because it isn't some monster hiding in the shadows. It's my father. The man who laughs when I flinch, who makes my mother scream until her voice breaks. The thing I called a demon was just what I needed to believe, because no real person could be that cruel. But every night when I look in the mirror, I see his face staring back. The demon is real. I know it is. It's just wearing my father's skin. And sometimes, I feel like it's learning how to wear mine. I don't fear the demon. No, sorry. My father. I don't fear my father no longer. I fear the day I'll stop recognizing the difference between my father's face and my own. I hope I'll never become like my father, even though I look like him. I hope my mother still loves me, even though I look like him. I never want to be like my father, though I'm eternally cursed by having to bear his face for the rest of my life. Just because I have his face doesn't mean I have to become him. Hey guys, Whispers here. This is another part of my The Fears That Rule Us book. I hope you've enjoyed the series so far. If you've been listening along, today's fear is the fear of becoming your parents. Out of my time in patrol, I've experienced a lot of child abuse and domestic violence, and many such cases. It's a cruel world we live in, but it's crueler for those who don't have the ability to defend themselves. It's a horrible thought knowing and interviewing these kids that they have reached out for help, but everyone is in their own world. It's no fault of their own by any means, of course not. It's hard to care for others when at the end of the day we're all struggling and in our own world. These kids are truly something else. A lot act out and misbehave to get the attention that they don't get in their house. And on the opposite end, there are plenty of those who excel in their education so they can leave that horrible lifestyle. While it's hard to deal with an abusive parent, the uncertainty of our foster system is even scarier. We don't know where we're going with at the end of the day. Being bounced around from foster parent to foster parent. To those children who are adults now, just know that you are being heard, you are loved, and you are enough. Thank you so much for listening all the way through and hearing my story. Good night, and as always, you know who to go to where the unknown becomes unforgettable.